Chapter 57. Spiritual Rebirth. Jara says, I understand the necessary information well, but by no means quite thoroughly. I cannot get to grips with the becoming reborn in the spirit, no matter how many times I hear it. How should that be properly understood? I say, now, neither you nor anyone else can fully understand it. For if I discuss earthly things with you, you do not fully understand me. How could you then completely understand me if I were to deal in very heavenly things with you? Yes, I tell you, if I now begin to speak about very heavenly things with you, you would all begin to get annoyed and say, see how the man has become so absurd? He speaks about things that are against all reason and nature. How can one accept this information to be true? Therefore, you will all only fully understand the birth, or rebirth, from the Spirit and in the Spirit, when I, as a man and the Son of Man, am taken from this earth under your very eyes like Elijah. Only then will I scatter my Spirit from the heavens full of truth and power over all those who are mine, whereby only then the full rebirth of the Spirit and in the Spirit will be made fully possible. And only then will you understand and recognize the rebirth of your spirit. But until then, no one can be fully reborn in the Spirit. Not anyone, beginning from Adam, not even Moses and all the prophets. But through the works which I have performed before you and all the others, everyone from Adam onwards will take part in the full rebirth of the Spirit, if they were born into the world and had at least a good will in the life of their body, even if they were not always active accordingly. For there are many others who have the best will to do and carry out something good, but they are lacking in the means and the outer strength and skill, which are as necessary as the eyes are for seeing. Well, in such cases the good will means as much to me as the deed itself. You see, if, for example, someone fell into the water and you saw it, now you might well want to help the unlucky person, but you know that you are completely incapable of swimming. If you jumped after the person who had fallen in, you would both be swept away by the water. But if you could swim very well, you would certainly jump after the unlucky person without any further thought and save him. But because you cannot swim, you do not jump after the unlucky person, despite the best will in the world. But instead, you quickly look for someone who could and would save the person. Look, my little daughter. A good will is as much as the completed deed itself. And that is the same in thousands and thousands of cases where the good will alone is accepted instead of the deed. I will give you another example. Look, you had the best will to help a very poor person who came to you, but you had no fortune yourself, and yet you wanted to help the poor person with all your strength. But since you have no fortune yourself, you go to one or another person who has a fortune and beg them with all your power for a good help for your poor person. But you do not receive it because of the hard-heartedness of the rich person, and you have to let the poor person move on without support, crying for him and pleading for him to the Lord God. You see, your will is then just as much as the completed deed itself. And there were many such people before us. There are now, and in the future there will be more. They will all participate in the rebirth of their spirit in their soul. If you cannot yet really understand what the actual rebirth of the spirit consists of, like everyone else, well, I have shown you the reason as clearly as possible. But if the time will come when you will be reborn in your spirit, only then will you fully see what and why you still cannot see it now. Do you understand the reason now why you still cannot understand me yet? Jara says, "Yes, Lord, my only love. Now I understand it well. But one must understand you, for you illuminate things as purely as the sun in a cloudless sky illuminates the earth at midday." After these words, she thanked me for the lesson, and also promised me that she would never laugh again at the foolish behaviour of another person.